A link down below as always to credit where I'm getting my information from. Let's just get into this super duper quick.
Yeah. And we're up against a really evil juggernaut. WWE is our competitor. That's who we're facing. AEW, like the Pepsi of pro wrestling. WWE's like the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling.
So those are the comments of Tony Khan during an NFL draft appearance on television. I sometimes keep forgetting that Tony Khan is involved in football. He's got some kind of chief executive role with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I believe his father owns the football team. Don't quote me on that. That's not what this video is really supposed to be about, but just in case you were wondering why he would be there. Now, for me, that comment now has been gaining a lot of traction in the sports world. And behind closed doors in the wrestling world, both AEW and WWE superstars and just people behind the scenes are unhappy with his comment. And I get it. I mean, WWE back in the day, and I get that they're trying to change, have said, you know what I mean, things before. When I heard it, I was like, oh, okay. Whatever. Like, I get it. Like, me personally, I wouldn't have done that. If I was Tony Khan, which I'm glad I'm not. I mean, financially, I wish I was, but I don't wish to look like a chia pet. I'm actually quite happy with the fact that I'm self-afflicting myself with baldism. I wouldn't have done that. It's one thing to take little jabs at one another and have a little bit of fun, but just like Tony Khan had Edge say some stuff back to what CM Punk said when he was on the show with Davari or whatever his name is there on the MMA Hour. It's just really childish. You have enough drama within your own company. You don't need to like resurface the video footage of CM Punk with Jungle Boy, whatever his name is. I forget now. That happened when they were in London. All these little things to try and make the company look bad. With all due respect, each company can do a good job of that on their own. They don't need another company to start slandering them. To me, it's not a big deal in that I don't understand why the story is gaining so much traction. Like, oh my God, he just said that. Great. Move on. Don't give him the attention that he's looking for. Don't get me wrong, I'm envious of the guy. He's 41 years old. I'm 45. I'm making hundreds of dollars a month on my couple of YouTube channels. This guy, he's on TV all the time. He's making the big bucks. Hey, I'm envious. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. He owns a wrestling promotion. Like, that's amazing. I could only wish that I could do that, and that's like never going to happen. For me, I'd like to think that I just wouldn't have done that. I would have been there to help promote maybe my business a little bit more, talk about AEW. Maybe I would have said something along the lines of like what he said, like, speaking of Pepsi. I want to make sure that's in the shot because I want Pepsi to sponsor my ass. The real silver bullet here. If I had to bring up WWE and I was Tony Khan, I would have been like, we're the Pepsi of professional wrestling. WWE is the Coke of professional wrestling. Essentially, you just have to pick your flavor. They're both sodas. They're both pops, whatever you call it in the U.S., but they each have a different flavor. Me personally, I'm bi soda. I drink both Coke and Pepsi, but I do prefer Diet Pepsi. Okay, same thing with the console wars. You've got Sony PlayStation, Microsoft Xbox, you've got Nintendo Switch. I have them all. I prefer PlayStation. I prefer WWE, but I don't dunk on AEW unless it deserves to be dunked on in that moment for a specific reason, right? But he can do what he wants. I just think, like I said, that it was unnecessary. I would probably go as far as saying it was childish, not very professional. Like, that doesn't mean you can't do it. It's just because when I think of Tony, no offense, I can't take him seriously. I don't know. I'm kind of very indifferent with him in general. Like, I don't hate the guy. I just kind of think he's a bit of a clown, honestly. Just a little bit of a goofball. And that's not a shot at him because I'm predominantly a big WWE fan. Like I said, I very much support and appreciate AEW. I like the fact that when people are done with their real careers in WWE, they have sort of like a retirement home they can go to called AEW. You see what I did there? I'm just messing around. In all seriousness, look at Chris Jericho, for example. Chris Jericho absolutely adores being in AEW. And I'm glad that he does. Imagine being somewhere that you don't enjoy. So on a serious note, I am very grateful. Excuse me, I'm very thankful, supportive of AEW, WWE, TNA Impact, New Japan Pro, like all those promotions. I wouldn't like WWE to have like a third show, like on a Wednesday, and it's all the people from AEW. Do you know what I mean? Like, I missed a WWF, WCW Monday Night Wars. Like, I love healthy competition, right? I really do. And I just wish that Tony Khan was a bit more mature. I don't even know if that's the proper word. Again, I'm not offended by what he said. I'm not triggered or set off by what he said. I'm actually, to be honest with you, and this might not be a popular take, I'm actually more caught off guard that that statement has garnered so much traction, more so than the fact of me being caught off guard for him saying that. Because in a 1% capacity, that was kind of true what he said. Because of the whole Vince McMahon thing, but he's no longer in the company. He's not there. You can't label an entire company because of one person. And that's what he said. He didn't say with Vince McMahon, WWE's like the Harvey Weinstein of professional wrestling. He didn't say that. He just said WWE is. And that doesn't even make sense. And when he said he's a competitor to WWE, and he says he's Pepsi, well, Harvey Weinstein's not a competitor to Pepsi. So it doesn't even make sense in some regards. Why am I rambling so much? It's what I do. Under 10 minutes, thank the Lord. I am very passionate about wrestling, like I said, whether it's the video game, Monday Night Raw, WWE SmackDown, just any shows. And if I have time, I do watch and recap on AEW, see what's going on with like TNA. Is it TNA and Impact? I don't even remember now. But I like to kind of keep up in the news with the indies as well, just to kind of see what's going on. And when stories like this emerge, I'm not going to lie, I'm like a fly on shit because it gives me something extra to talk about. And that's predominantly probably what he wanted. Listen, he's getting more attention than I'll get in 100 lifetimes. But I do feel, and this could be inaccurate, he seems like an immature child that is just hungry for attention, more so than what he's already getting to begin with. And yeah, I'm envious. I wish I had a little bit more attention, because with attention usually comes fame. With fame usually comes money. I'd rather be rich and not famous, though. But usually with fame comes money, generally speaking. And so I can admit that fully. I'd be a lying sack of shit if I said otherwise. So yeah, I don't hate Tony Khan. I just kind of roll my eyes with the constant back and forth. Just enjoy your product. Take a lighthearted jab once in a blue moon at WWE. Like WWE could throw a little jab at AEW and say, how do you like our leftovers? And just a little haha. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like I'm running in circles now. I probably started running in circles just a few minutes into this. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Again, I'm not offended. I'm very laid back. If you haven't been able to tell already if you've been following me for a little bit. Same thing with politics, just in general. I'm very laid back. I'm very open-minded. I don't attack people for having a different view than mine. You can be pro AEW and think WWE is shit. If you think WWE is shit, then guess what? Then it is in your eyes, because that's how you feel. And for me, WWE is great. It's not the best. It could be a bit better, but it's getting a lot better, at least in my opinion. And we can discuss, have a healthy discussion. Why do you think WWE sucks, for example? And I can share with you why I don't think they do. Or maybe I have a hard time putting into words why I feel that they're amazing. And sometimes that can happen. I don't always have like a well thought out, concrete sentence that I can put together to explain why I feel a certain way. And it's just really not a big deal. Just enjoy what you enjoy, and that's it. And I just wish he would do the same thing. Guy is so busy. He's got a very much more important life than I have. And I'm just thinking, I don't know what he's thinking. Whatever. Thumbs up as always if you liked the video. Does greatly help support that channel with the algorithm and trying to make me a little bit more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up. And if you didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down, and I'll bend it in half, twist it. I'll give you a solo Sakoan spike right in the ass. If you want to subscribe, exactly. And in closing, I did start watching this interview. I have no idea who these guys are, by the way, from Post Wrestling. They got 17,000 subscribers. But what I really enjoy about what I'm seeing so far is just how laid back it is. They're both in their homes. You could see his closet or something like that there. They're just very laid back. They're not like trying too hard to be, oh my God, you know, like too over the top. So it looks like they took an Ativan or a Demerol before doing this video. I'm just kidding. And I actually really appreciate them. So I might actually subscribe. I don't mind subscribing to a couple of YouTube channels, and I don't always look at the subscriber count as a measure of quality. I don't. I actually really liked how this was put together. And maybe you could go ahead and check them out if you've never heard of them before. So with all that said and done, as always, take care. Let me know down below for 2 reasons what you think of this. 1, because I genuinely am curious. And 2, the ulterior motive is it helps with engagement on the video. The more thumbs up, the more comments, the more the algorithm volume widens. And when people type in WWE or Tony Khan, Harvey Weinstein comment, I'm much more likely to show up in the top 100 search results versus the top 10,000 kind of thing. That's how that whole algorithm works. I'm going to stop talking now because the post rant's going to end up being longer than the main story. Oh my God, we're already almost halfway there. Goodbye, and maybe if I'm lucky, I'll see some of you in the next video. Bye for now.